We've got a quick screencast here to explain to you the February 22nd unit makeover design lab. And so I'll go through some of the major points here to make sure that you understand what you're being asked to do. And so as I scroll down here just a little bit, you'll see that our learning target is right here. Teachers will make learning more accessible by creating a unit plan that incorporates their plus one or incorporates a different predictable support throughout the unit. So you made a plus one for your last unit lesson plan. We might want you to just take that plus one and use it throughout a unit rather than just on one particular lesson plan. Instead of making UDL an event in your classroom, let's have a unit where UDL is a part of it and accessibility is a part of what the students experience throughout all days of that unit. So that's what we're asking you to do. Take what you did for a lesson and now expand it outward into your practice. On Friday, February 22nd, you will be meeting in your building's library with your team to work on your fourth quarter UDL unit plan. Building principals might choose to change that a little bit, but this is the basic idea. If you're in a department, you could work with that department. If you're in a team, work with that team. If you absolutely want to only work with one other person, you could. If you choose to work alone, you could. But again, you're designing a unit plan with accessibility features or plus ones throughout. As I move down through the document here, here's what you should bring on that day: a unit based on standards that will be taught during the fourth quarter. So we want to give you some lead time up to this. I would not pick something that's being taught this quarter. I would pick something that's far out, that is maybe a month away. This is not, again, a daily lesson, but a unit that you'll be retooling to incorporate your plus one strategy. And I would say you could start with standards and completely redesign a unit or create a unit, or you could take a unit that is based on standards and retool that unit as long as it's based on the standards and has clear goals. You also want to bring an idea for what accessibility or strategy or tool that will be used within that fourth quarter unit. So I would come to the 22nd with an idea for what accessibility strategy you're thinking of putting in throughout that particular unit. As we move down here, it says teachers will. Teachers will complete or at least get a solid start on, we hope, on the 22nd, your fourth quarter updated UDL unit planner with an emphasis on using a strategy or strategies to make the learning materials more accessible for your students. Like with the last time, again, think of this as plus one learning. So you're trying to add an option to what you would normally do in the same way that you did for the lesson plan. Teachers are going to have to make a copy of this unit planner, and it is linked here. You can click on it, make a copy. This would be the document that you could work off of and put the stuff for your unit plan in that unit planner. As I move down the list here, some of the examples that we used for the plus one lesson plan, they're still here, but now it's just anytime you present information, maybe use a screencast. If you did it once in that last unit for that one lesson, now maybe you have this available for them throughout the unit. If you put something online so the students could access it one time in your unit, maybe now you do that throughout. Anytime you're using that textbook or that source, you're putting it online to give them a digital option. If you're a math teacher and you want to use Think Central or Big Ideas, again, anytime you assign math problems in that unit, have some kind of online supplement for them to enhance their learning that is accessible for them. So it's taking the idea that you have with the lesson plan and just expanding it. So it's not new. We're just asking for a little bit more. Again, here's the chart that was in the document for the unit plan of some examples that you could use. What are you going to be doing here with this? You're going to be submitting your fourth quarter unit plan that includes the learning targets, summary of daily student activity, a link to your plus one on the days that you're using it, and we want to want you to connect it to the UDL checkpoints. And all that is addressed in the planner. And then probably not submitted with the lesson planner, but afterwards you'll see there's also a reflection that we're going to want you to do once you've taught this unit and discussed it with your students. For a little bit of inspiration, here are some of the supports. They're linked here for you to look at that teachers did after their first or their second quarter unit plan involving accessibility. There's a great video model here about what a open, I think, and closed circuit is that is linked here for you. There's a kindergarten sight words video model here, which is excellent as well. We have some low-tech visuals here. I know I'm going to say this wrong, but PolySpot, I think, is what it is, used in Phi-Ed classes at Sheboygan Falls. An 8th grade poetry assignment that was built into Canvas that included a screencast and other options to help students decode or learn about that particular poem. We've got an 8th grade math video here to support student learning of linear equations. We've got the 4K team using QR codes to allow students to access a resource, a read aloud of Pete the Cat. So those are some different teacher examples your colleagues created, and a lot of them are linked in there if you want to check them out, maybe give you an idea what you want to do throughout your unit planner. So if you want to do video models throughout this unit, there are multiple opportunities to do that. Go for it. If you want to use QR codes for them to access resources throughout it, go for that. Try that. You want to screencast, use that as a strategy. Again, coming back to the target here, what we want you to do is make learning more accessible for students now in a unit, not just in a daily lesson. We want you to incorporate, again, that +1 strategy, whatever it is, as a predictable support. Predictable meaning now a student in that unit will know that it will be there for that particular type of lesson on that particular day, or to help them access that particular type of resource. I hope this makes sense. If it doesn't, feel free to shoot me emails with questions. Thanks.